Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bearded Banters Show. I am Nick. Got Chris here with me today. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
You got doing amazing. Nobody has met Chris yet. He's kind of behind the scenes helper here on the show. Here does a lot of content and helps me out with some of the technical stuff here. That a little younger and a little more wiser maybe on some of that stuff. But man, hey, thanks so much for jumping on here with me today. It was kind of last minute. Appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. I watch this show a lot, and it's what you and Robert done for everything has been amazing to see all the funny jokes and everything else you guys make along there.
Well, you did fit the dress code. Got the pink on, got the beard.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely worked good today. And you know what? We never even planned on the pink. So great minds think alike. Well, guys, today the topic is insurance. We do have a special guest joining us on the show today, and we'll introduce her in just a few minutes. But with budget being tight, inflation being all-time high, everybody's looking for ways to save some money. And you know what? My family, we're definitely one of them. And here the last week or so, I got this nice little email. Wake up, I think, with everybody, get on your phone first thing, start scrolling through Facebook, check my emails. But I got my renewal for my insurance, and I about shit. Sorry for the S word there, but it was almost $1,000 for my automobiles.
Wow, that is crazy.
Dude, that's a month. That's not a 6-month deal. That's 1 month.
How many cars are on that insurance policy?
4 cars.
That's crazy. Well, just speaking from experience, I mean, I have 1 car on my insurance policy, and I'm paying almost $330 just for 1 car. So,
What, are you driving that Lamborghini still? Or?
Oh man, I wish I sold that a long time ago. No, I'm driving a good old little Subaru Crosstrek. So I mean,
$300 a month.
$300 a month.
Yeah, a lot of tickets.
Some of them have came off, but a couple accidents on there, so I can fully understand. But gotta try to find a way to make it cheaper,
Boy, that is no joke. So yeah, I about died. I had a heart attack, and so yeah, changes are definitely in place here. And there's so many options, and Facebook blows up my account. It seems like as soon as the thought just crossed my mind of, hey, let's look at ideas. I mean, it seems like just every other post was about insurance. And you and I me and you were kind of born into it, have had some firsthand experience on the claim side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris, his dad, Steven, worked with for a lot of years. Big time boss for Gerber Collision. Shout out to Steven Fielding.
Yeah, most definitely. And he's not with Gerber, Caliber.
Caliber. Sorry, Chris. Caliber. Yeah, Steven, my bad. You can beat me up later for that. So my apologies. But anyways, so his dad and I worked for a body shop here in town. His dad was the big boss, and I was a damage appraiser is what they called it. But there's so many rules that a lot of times the average consumer doesn't even know about it. They just know they get into an accident, take it to the body shop, and get the car fixed. Well, if you weren't aware, the underwriters and those huge, thick insurance binders that I don't think anybody ever reads. But if you went cheap and got one of those online sources, didn't have that, insurance agent to explain things to you, your brand new car could very well have a bunch of aftermarket crap put on the car. And guess who looks like the bad guy? It's the body shop. Those customers say, why are you putting that crappy stuff on my car? Well, it's not, necessarily the body shop. It's the consumer that went cheap, and you definitely get what you pay for. It's the importance of having an agent that's looking out for your best interest, because like everything in this world, if you go cheap, you're going to get cheap results. You definitely need to be careful where your money goes, because you don't want to go cheap on something like that and get stuck with bad experience. So what's it like growing up with Mr. feeling at that, because I know how he was with me. He was a very strict boss, very detailed oriented. So when you woke up in the morning, did you have to like make your bed and your room had to be put up to a T before you were able to go to school?
I'll definitely say, going in and making sure the rooms and everything else is straightened up. My dad has been very detail oriented, but also giving good advice on how to be successful in life is one of the biggest things for him. For me and my sister both, my mom and my dad both emphasize on being able to set us up for success and everything else like that. But definitely a good role model in my life. I wouldn't say that, being successful in the way I am today is a big thanks to my dad, being able to go to him for advice, but I would definitely say very detail oriented, very fine picky. He always says that if you're going to do it, make sure you do it with 110%. So,
Yep, I think I remember hearing him say that.
yeah, going everything from cutting the grass to, making sure the bathroom's all straightened up, kitchen and everything, make sure everything's good. And if you leave off a little bit, he's going to get on you a little bit. So, but most definitely, but even in the collision world, he asked that for every employee. Growing up, being able to meet you, but also being able to meet multiple different people just into the collision world. Being able to meet amazing people, but being able to grow up in that side of the industry, it's crazy to see, what a lot of people miss out on that side. There's a lot of, talking with a lot of the different damage appraisers and everything else like that, but also going through the process of me being able, when I had my Civic, at the time, being able to talk with the insurance company and go through that. There's just a lot of behind the scenes that goes on. Insurance agents, and also the damage appraisers that go through that have to communicate all the time. Being able to communicate what's going on with the car, being able to talk about, okay, well, this is your quote for here, and being able just to communicate in there. There's a lot more communication that, customers just don't know, that both estimators and insurance agents go through to being able to figure out what's going on with the car and everything else like that. But definitely having good insurance agents. I will definitely say that when my Civic had to get fixed, they sent someone out to look at my car and figure out what's all going wrong with it. And also being able to, as the consumer as well, if you buy like you mentioned, aftermarket parts, enable and everything else like that, make sure you know what you're going into and what you're buying, but also being able to let your insurance adjuster know that you have some of those aftermarket parts, because like you said, the body shop can end up being the bad person in that situation. That's never a good thing.
No, definitely not. Well, today we actually have one of those experts. We're going to introduce Rachel here. Come on over. She is a shelter owner agent, and she is not only super knowledgeable, but she's been in the industry for a long time. So don't forget to put on your headset. That way you can kind of hear what's going on. You might need to adjust your mic there. There, get that little cord there out of here. There you go. Almost feels like you're a fighter jet pilot.
I like that.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming over and talking with our guests a little bit about the insurance world. And yeah, awesome. So had some questions lined out.
Okay.
Wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit. So do you offer anything other than just home and auto insurance?
Yeah, we do. So we offer life insurance,
Okay.
Which is kind of scary because nobody wants to talk about that because we're dealing with mortality, but it is pretty important.
Definitely.
We also offer business, and then we also offer with business, so the building, and then we offer workers' comp and just some other things that kind of go along with what business needs.
Gotcha. We got a little firsthand experience. My son had a workman's comp claim, and we're actually going to court tomorrow on this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty raunchy. Apparently, this company, won't name any names, but oh my goodness, their insurance company is absolutely horrible. You would think, God forbid, nobody wants anything to happen to anybody, but when you have an accident like that, you would think, get them taken care of. He was in the ICU for 2 or 3 days. And yeah, no communication, super horrible. Yeah, bad deal, bad deal. But we've got an amazing guy that's helping us out there, and hopefully we get some resolution. My wife said the hospital bill alone was over 100 grand right now, not to mention all the miscellaneous odds and ends. But it's crazy. But
Well, I hope he's okay.
yes, he's good. You might grab your mic there just so people can hear a little bit better. There you go. There you go. Looking good. So how long exactly have you been in the insurance world?
Yeah, so 2.5 years.
2.5
Yeah,
years.
so that experience. So I spent a decade in travel and tourism,
Oh, wow.
and a decade in major gift fundraising. But before that, I was a stay-at-home mom. So the last 2.5 years has been in insurance. And you're right. There's a lot of reading into the policy to understand, and that agent really does provide knowledge so that you know what you're getting.
Yep.
Because you're right, it is really easy to go online and save money, because you're right, it's mandated and required, and it sucks.
Yep.
It really sucks. Like with $1,000 a month, did you do defensive driving? Because you can save some money.
I need to.
You do, and maybe you don't need to speed.
I keep it under 100 most of the time. Yeah, so
I guess
Literally, this
I
is
have-
not the Autobahn. I don't think we can do that in the state.
no.
And you're targeting yourself. You're
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But so speaking about crazy things, so last night I was driving my hot rod, and it's going on the highway, and all of a sudden my car started to shimmying and shaking, and I was like, whoa, something don't feel right. So I got off. Thankfully, I got off the highway. And then I wasn't off the highway for maybe 3 minutes, and my front tire went boom. Scared the crap out of me. Let me tell you, it. Luckily, I was barely moving. I was at a red light. Just started moving, maybe 10 mile an hour. But if I'd have been doing 60, 70 mile an hour, I would have been a completely different story. But my hot rod, I've got Haggerty. Had them for a long time, and pretty good. However, I gotta complain a little bit about them last night, as I'm sitting in this parking lot in the not so good part of town, especially where you don't want your hot rod to be. Kind of let you put two and two in together here. And so here I am sitting in this parking lot, really wanting to get the ball rolling, on the phone with Haggerty for like 30 minutes, trying to figure out, and they couldn't find my policy. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And I was like, I just need my car towed. And they're like, well, I can't find your policy. I was like, you know what? I'm done. Click. Called up the Aero Wrecker. I was like, I'll pay for it. Just get me the heck out of here, But
You shouldn't have been at 21st and Greenwich. I mean, that's kind of a
21st
shady,
Greenwich is
it's
a lot
kind of a
better than
shady-
where I was.
kind of a shady area.
I was at 21st and Broadway.
Oh yeah, that's a very shady area.
Yes. As I'm on the phone with claims, sirens are passing me. Luckily, it was an ambulance, not a cop. But still, I'm like, get me out of here. And they're like, we're on our way. But yeah, so now my car's next door getting some new tires put on. But should have done that sooner. But anyways,
But that's a good point. We're approaching cold weather season. And so what should we be doing right now? Checking our tires. Because
Checking your
what's going to
tires.
happen? They're going to deflate. So you get bad gas mileage.
Yep.
So it's time to check that, because you won't always get a check engine light.
no, you won't. And let me tell you, those tires in my car maybe had 1,000 miles, but when they're 10 years old and you don't drive your car very often, that is still a 10-year-old tire. So even though your tread life or tread depth is still really good, it's not a really good tire. So I had a firsthand experience with that. So let me ask you this. What would you say the best advice you could give somebody that's shopping for insurance?
Mm-hmm. Oh, best advice. Be honest. So
Truth
one
will
of
come
the,
out.
yeah, so it does. So like those MVR, that stuff all is connected. So it is interesting. When we get people calling for quotes, we'll ask, do you have any tickets or accidents? Oh, no, No, and inevitably, um, we may find a ticket,
Uh-huh.
we may find an accident, and then we get, oh, yeah, and you know what? So what starts out as a really competitive or good quote is not.
Yep.
And then we have to start peeling back and changing deductibles or changing different things. So, and I get, sometimes you forget. With some carriers, like Shelter, we only look back 3 years.
Oh, that's good to know.
Some carriers look back 5 to 7, but Shelter looks back 3 years. So that's one thing, being honest about kind of what's on the record. And one thing to know, youthful drivers, I wish, I don't know what's happened. I don't know why. I had 2 youthful drivers. It wasn't this expensive.
But you are
Um,
kidding.
Youthful drivers are, it's painful and it hurts. I mean, it hurts
Yes.
for me.
Yes.
And there's no way around it, but I don't do the math. Those are the mathy people that do it in the actuarial department. And those are based on facts and statistics.
Yeah, that's what's killing me.
Yes.
I just sold my truck, trying to. I mean, we definitely have a lot of cars in the driveway, so I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna sell my truck. I'm gonna drive my hot rod for a few months. Thinking I'm gonna save some money, and now I'm spending $1,000+ over there. I'm like, well, crap. I should have not even have sold my truck because this is not saving me any money. But here we are. Oh well. My 2-year-old absolutely loves going for rides, so it's all worth it in the long run. But so one of the things here in the auto industry and sales, that is important and was taught to me when I first got in here is if you don't set yourself apart to be a little bit different or a lot different from your competitors, you blend in with the crowd. There's not saying that there's not great salespeople out there, but if you don't set yourself apart, you're just another car salesman. What would you say that stands out the most to you, or what do you do that's different that makes you apart from your competitors?
So Nick, that's a really good question. So I was a major gift fundraiser for a decade, and I did that at Youth Entrepreneurs, and a lot of people around here may know that as YEK. It was started by Charles and Liz Koch, and I learned a lot working with youth entrepreneurs and learning from Charles and reading and our donor base. And one of the things that Charles talked about was your comparative advantage. And it's the one thing that you have that nobody else has. Because we all have competitive advantages. I'm a Jeep person. You're a Ford
That's
people.
okay. I sell Jeeps too.
Yeah. We do, yes. But there's the one thing that I have that not everybody has. And when you figure out what that is and you capitalize on it and you do it really well, it does set you apart. And for me, I like to empower people. I'm not a micromanager, so my agent representative can tell you, like, I don't get in her way. I empower her. I don't need to look at everything she does. We have people call the office and they will ask to speak to Lindsay because that's their agent. And it's like, yeah, she sure is. She's licensed, so she is your agent. You don't have to speak to me. So I like that, I want to empower people. We've just hired Paula, who was with another carrier who's got a ton of experience, and that is the vision that I have as well. And for me, it is treating everyone with dignity. So it doesn't matter if it was the top 10 or 1% that I was fundraising with, or the person that is really struggling because finances are hard. We treat everybody the same.
That's good.
And we look for when someone calls and says, gosh, to your point, this is getting really expensive. We look to see, did we maximize discounts? What are we doing to help save? What can we do? to make sure that we're looking out for their best interest. So, and we for me, I cultivate my customers. So I take some of that fundraising acumen that I had and I put it into this industry. And it's not one for one, but I definitely try to take some of that and treat people the way they want to be treated, because
Yeah.
that's what people are looking for.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that 110%. It's important to definitely, and it's in our industry, it's pretty common, we will see, I mean, I've shook hands with multimillionaires that you would think they don't have two pennies in their pocket. And a lot of the younger kids that get into the industry, that's one of the first thing they do. They always judge a book by its cover. And if you're not doing things like you said, ethically, treating everybody equally, then yeah, you're starting with that wrong foot forward, and yeah, it's not going to be good for either anybody, really.
Well, and one of the things, we don't take no as a no. A no is a not right now.
Exactly.
And I learned that in fundraising. A no means, for whatever reason, it's not the right time. And we still thank them for the opportunity. We follow up, and eventually it may come in time. And that's what we're kind of seeing 2.5 years in. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But we still thank people because that's really important to me. And a handwritten thank you.
Yes. Show the effort, the little bit extra. I can't remember who told me, but it stuck with me for years. The difference between extraordinary and ordinary is just a little extra.
The detail.
Yep, that extra in front of it. So definitely great. So I can't thank you enough, not only for coming here today, but also for being a part of our Bash Card event. So for everybody that doesn't know, Rachel here sponsored us with our Bash Card that's coming up here October 18th to the 20th there in Hayesville. And we are so excited about it. We've got Mike Frost, Frosty's DJ service, that just joined up with us going out there. So it's going to be a blast. And because of your generosity, we're going to be able to make a huge impact, on the Hayesville School District. And went to the chamber meeting, and I got to tell you, that was an eye opener too. Holy cow! I didn't realize how much repairs need to be done in our schools. So, not to mention everything else from just day-to-day expenses, but I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
So hopefully this can help a little bit. I mean, not 78 million, unless one of our wonderful viewers out there would like to get really, really generous. But yeah, that was definitely an eye opener, and I look forward to more and more meetings to that. So
we're glad that you were able to come out, and I think the community will really benefit from this, the car bash, and getting businesses involved and be able to give back to the schools and be able to help and offset some of those things that maybe they don't have. So that'll be great.
Yeah, we're actually, as soon as we get done here, we've got a meeting with Jeff, the superintendent with Hayesville.
Oh, great.
So we're gonna have to go from here and book it down there and meet with the school board and try to figure out some other ways and ideas that the school can help promote it a little bit for us, because obviously the ultimate success of this event is going to greatly, affect them too. So all hands on board, trying to get this thing to be super, super successful. Maybe I'll have to come pick your brain too, since you were you kind of did a little bit of that as well years ago. So
a little bit. But before we go, I am a fundraiser, and I have some highly coveted, hard to come by.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, these were made by one of our vendors in Hayesville. So, everybody needs a koozie,
Absolutely.
with the shelter logo and my name and number. So, Chris,
Awesome.
Nick,
Thank you so much.
And Coca Dolce has embedded the shelter logo in some little chocolate for us.
Love it.
So that we give out, and then you can put your business card.
Oh, that's a really cool idea.
Yes. See how you set your comparative advantage.
Now, Chris, aren't you diabetic?
No,
No,
no, I'm
it's,
not.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought you told me that yesterday, that you can't eat chocolate or any of that stuff.
No, that's my weakness there, Nick.
Oh, sorry.
it sounds like Nick is stretching a little bit. But you know, if you come back to the office, we may have a little bit more. We don't have to steal from our friends. And then in case, you know, you need to keep track of your calendar and schedule, we have some shelter calendars and a notebook and a little notepad because, you know,
Thank you.
everybody needs one of these.
Absolutely.
And then because I'm a Jeep person, and in the, you know, you mentioned the Fall Fest, Saturday, there'll be a parade at 9 in the morning.
Yes.
And so not only am I a Jeep person, my husband is a Jeep person. So he has a 14 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. I have a 16 Wrangler Sahara, and both are manual. So, you know, anti-theft devices.
Yep. Especially the newer generations.
Yeah, no, I know. I've had to pull my car out a time or two because someone can't drive it. And then he's got a Gladiator.
Oh, nice.
So he's going to be driving the Citizen of the Year and the parade. And so I bought some highly coveted, again, hard to come by Jeep dogs to hand out in the parade to go with candy. So I know that you guys sell the Bronco, but you know, I have to duck you both. So I have some, you know, a Cyclops and a Piratey duck.
Oh, that is super cool. I love it.
You know, when you look at your duck, you'll think
I'll
shelter.
always think
Shelter.
of Rachel
Yeah,
and
and
shelter.
And if it's not me, you know, there are 28 agents in this district. So any one of them are way more knowledgeable and capable than me. There's like Chris Walters is just down the road here. He's been an agent for over
Does
20.
Chris do this though?
Yes, he does.
He does the Coco
Dolce.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Chris is just down the road. Yes. Yes.
I was trying to find out something that you did a little better than me. But if he does that too, maybe I'll have to go
He's
check.
Smarter. He's probably smarter than me. He's
I
been doing
doubt
it a
it.
long
I
time.
doubt it.
Yeah, he is.
Well.
But you know, all the shelter agents are amazing and knowledgeable, and I wouldn't be where I am today without them.
Yeah, they say you're on. You know, even with us here, as a, you know, we're one dealership, but we're one big team, and you're only as tough as your weakest link. So we empower everybody here. We do lots of educating, lots of training, and every new person, you know, we take them under our wing. Some of them we kind of, you know, rough them up a little bit because they need some hard education. But at the end of the day, you know, one big family, and like you said, everybody here is great. I think, you know, there might be one or two that's a little bit better, like people you're in the room with, you know. But
yeah. Although I will tell you, you guys wear pink, and nobody gave me like I have a pink. I said I had a pink shelter. I could have matched,
I
but
should have
that's
messaged
okay.
you this
Like,
morning.
odd man out here.
Hey, you know what? We accent
okay.
really well. Well, again, Rachel, thank you so much for coming on the show with us. And if any one of our listeners wanted to hop on and call you or pick your brain, what is the best way to reach you?
Yeah, so our number has texting capability as well, our direct line. So they can call us at 316-522-5005.
Okay.
And we are in Hayesville, but we're licensed in multiple states. So if someone, you know, may have a house in Little Wichita in Missouri or Arkansas, Colorado, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean, just a few states.
Just a few.
In Kansas, I can, you know, insure here and there, and we can help take care of their student that going to college. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, guys, there you go. You've heard it from Rachel. Give her a call today. Let her and her, what was her name again?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Yep.
Lindsay, a shout. And if you're in Hayesville, definitely go by and say hi. Say that you saw her on the show. And most importantly, make sure you make it out to the Hayesville Fall Fest. Scream really loud when you see both of us going down the parade. Again, you know, a huge shout out to Frosty's DJ service, Mike Frost. Thank you again, buddy. I've known that guy for knocking on probably 25 years. But he is donating his time to come out on Saturday, be there all day with us. We are still looking for some business sponsors and donations. So if you're a local business, either in the Wichita or Hayesville area, again, 100% of all the proceeds are going back to the school district. So help us raise a bunch of money. If you got any school supplies, maybe you're family and you just want to help by donating some school supplies, get with me, message me, call me. My number is 316-670-0246. We would love the support. And yeah, we look forward to seeing everybody there. Chris, you got anything?
I don't have anything. It was a pleasure to meet you
That's
and
nice
hear
to meet
and hear about everything in the insurance world. So definitely some new insights on everything and how to learn and get better insurance and be able to do that.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, guys, thanks again. We look forward